So I want to talk about why I decided not to become a teacher in Hawaii. Some of the things that kind of held me back. And when I graduated from high school, I wanted to become a teacher. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to teach, but I just knew that I wanted to be in the classroom. I love the idea of passing along knowledge from me to some students in just fun and creative ways. And I really respect teachers, and there are times that I wish that I could join them. I think about it sometimes, like maybe I should apply and become a teacher in Hawaii. I bet you if you think back, you must have had some really great teachers that inspired you and didn't talk down to you. Unfortunately, every time I think about stepping in front of a classroom, there's enough reasons to keep me from doing it. And by the way, this is my old high school, McKinley High School. Go Tigers. And in a lot of ways, I hope this video doesn't discourage people from wanting to become teachers in Hawaii, because we really need teachers here. I mean, they talk about that every single year. We need teachers, but it's hard. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I quit teaching before I even got started. And I'm not here just to complain. I actually want to offer some solutions that I think could make teaching a little brighter for people. And if you're a teacher in Hawaii, please let me know in the comments below, and maybe you can leave some encouraging words for some people who are interested in becoming future teachers. Also, in full transparency, I've never been employed as a teacher in Hawaii, and I hope that doesn't lose any credibility that I may have on this topic. I did student teach when I was in high school, if you can believe that. I also was a summer fun instructor here, which I know is not quite the same as teachers, but I had the wonderful opportunity to teach at the University of Northern Colorado for several years, even teaching ESL. So I do have some classroom experience, although granted not quite the same as K through 12. So I think it's universally known that teachers are traditionally paid relatively low, which is too bad because they have one of the most important jobs, which is teaching our keiki. And this is the starting pay for teachers in Hawaii, which I guess if you think about it, it's not too bad considering they get summer and winter off, as well as the fact that they're state employees. And I hear people say that they get into teaching because they love to teach kids and they're in it for the kids, and that's really great. But the truth is that you also have to pay the bills, and because Hawaii has one of the highest costs of living, it's really tough. And the teacher pay, while maybe pretty okay, it gets really stretched out when you consider how much things cost, especially housing and food. I wish the starting teacher salary in Hawaii was $80,000 to $100,000. I wish that. If it was that, sign me up. I'd be right there to apply. It's not all about the money, but that would definitely attract some high-level candidates. But as I've looked into education in Hawaii and teaching, I found that actually the highest salaries are in school administration, and that's where the money's at. It's not really in the teaching of the kids, it's actually in the management and administration of that. Thank goodness for these bus stops, huh? Now, I've heard the argument that Hawaii schools underperform, so why should we pay them more money? And if you look at the past year, the test scores pretty much across the board in public school have plummeted. I mean, math proficiency is down 11% to 32%, science is down 9%, and language is down 4%. And so I hear that. How do you improve the quality of education by strategically allocating limited resources? And the thing is, I think it starts by getting the most local-born teachers to stay in the profession. I mean, we have initiatives like Grow Your Own, where they're gonna pay individuals to go and get certified to become teachers at the University of Hawaii, but the thing is that gonna be enough? Because frankly, Hawaii is importing a lot of its teachers from other parts of the country, and I just don't understand why we can't recruit and keep enough of the teachers that are locally born here. And because of that, we typically have this high turnover rate of teachers in Hawaii, and we've been able to get by because, of course, who doesn't want to teach in Hawaii, right? You can always get young new teachers to come and teach here, but it doesn't really help in the long term if a lot of them are leaving after 3 to 5 years. It's like trying to plug a hole in a boat by just paling out the water with a cup. And the thing is, it would be nice to see teachers who were part of the community, or at least try to be invested in Hawaii. And I think the way that you can do that is make it easier for people to stay in Hawaii. Oh God, it's really wet outside. Guess I should wait the thing is, it'd be nice to see teachers who are part of that local community or at least invested in Hawaii. And part of that is making it more affordable for these teachers to live here. Because I think that when you're invested in your place as a teacher and you're not thinking about moving away to the mainland, quality of education gets better. All right, well, we just gotta go out there and do it. In the rain, right? Real Hawaii here. The second thing is the admin work. And that's one of those things where just hearing from my teacher friends, they weren't necessarily prepared for the amount of admin work that you have to deal with as a teacher. Because I think a lot of teachers get into teaching because they want to create those wonderful lesson plans and they want to inspire kids and have wonderful classroom discussions. They don't want to fill out binders or attend department meetings, and those types of things I think are just very draining for some people. And then there's the admin work with the kids, like dealing with fights or bullying or cheating. And there's liability and safety concerns. And these are all things that as an educator, I kind of don't really want to deal with. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that teachers have to deal with administratively that I didn't mention. And again, those just add on to the workload of already dealing with 30 or 100 students that you have to see every other day. And so I just wish that in the college programs, they would prepare you more for a lot of this administrative work. And I know that this differs from county to county, or for the state of Hawaii, you have to deal with the state DOE. But I think just preparing people for that would be huge, because then they'd actually know that teaching isn't just about what you see in the classroom. I think another thing that could really help teachers, especially the new ones, is mentoring or some kind of partnership that you have with someone else that they can check in on you when these types of challenges arise. I know it's a big commitment for established teachers because they have so much already to take care of, but it's a good long-term investment, especially for that particular school. And this could also start at the student teacher level, because when I was student teaching, as soon as the kids left, I pretty much left too. I didn't really stick around for much. But had I stuck around to when the teacher actually left the campus, maybe I would have known that, oh, teaching doesn't end when the bell rings. You got stuff that you got to take care of, and teachers are often leaving pretty late. Not all of them. Some are digging out reasonably early, but there are teachers that are stuck at school because they're doing so much other work. And the third thing, and probably the biggest thing that continues to stop me from becoming a teacher, is having to deal with parents. I can accept the pay, I can even accept the administrative work sometimes, but I just cannot deal with the parents. Because when a child is failing in school, the blame is often given to the teachers, and when they succeed, it's often given to the parents, which I think is completely unfair. I really think education starts at home. There's so much that a parent can do and contribute to their own child's education. And I know after a long day of work or all the stresses of life, the last thing you want to do is be a teacher at home, but that's just part of parenting. And because of the high percentage of multi-generational homes we have here in Hawaii, sometimes it's not even mom and dad that you have to talk to, it's grandma, grandpa. And I don't want to talk to grandma and grandpa. I want to talk to mom and dad about the kids' education, or at least I'd want to talk to them about the kids' education. Because the truth is, I think I got spoiled by teaching college kids. I never had to deal with parents. I just dealt with the student, and that's it, because they're grown-ups, right? They're adults. And on the first day of class, I would just spell it out to my students. If you miss 3 classes, you fail. And we'd go over the syllabus and all of my expectations, and basically I would just tell them, if you want to get an A in this class, this is what you have to do. If you just want to pass this class, this is what you have to do. So I made it very straightforward and easy. If they didn't like it, they could switch to another class, but oftentimes I found that most of the students were pretty receptive to that. And I love teaching college because I could actually just focus on the teaching. I didn't have to deal with all this parent stuff. I mean, if the kid failed, that was on them. But the thing is, if the kid succeeded, that was also on them. And to see them, especially when they improve over the course of the semester, I mean, that's what you like to see as an educator. Because I'd like to think, maybe rather naively, that if you put in the work, you can succeed. And if you don't put in the work, well, you know the consequences. And for this, there's no real solution I can offer, but I think what we can do is we can try to expect more from our students, like hold them to a higher standard, Because I think oftentimes we just expect the bare minimum, and so that's what we end up getting from them. Because I think we'd be surprised at what kids could do if we just kind of expected more of them and held them to that standard, while also making sure that we support them in the right ways. And I also wish that we could teach somewhat character development, things like perseverance and hard work and being punctual, because those are things that they're gonna need in the actual real world, that no matter what job that they take. And part of that may be educating parents that their kids' education is not just about them dropping off their kid at school, but it's actual partnership with the teachers at the school to ensure that their kid can succeed. And to close, I think teaching is a wonderful profession. And if you're coming to Hawaii to teach, or you're a current teacher in Hawaii, I applaud you. I think that's wonderful, and I wish that I could join you. And like I mentioned, there's times where I thought about shifting my career. Like maybe I could actually handle it as a teacher. I could make it work. But until things actually change, I don't see myself stepping in front of the classroom. And that's really too bad, because I think I'd be pretty good at it. So thank you to all the wonderful teachers out there. Continue doing what you're doing. We all really appreciate it, even if we don't say it. And I know that when my son goes to school, I'm gonna make sure to thank all of his teachers as well. As you can see, it's getting kind of wet. I gotta head back. Not sure if this was a great idea, but it's okay. So thanks for watching, and aloha.